Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the relationship between the United States and China and why the U.S. believes the temperature is cooling a little bit. It's worth remembering that for quite some time, U.S. estimates have suggested that China was going to become more assertive, go on the offensive militarily, stuff like that. Those estimates are being revised, and it seems as though the collision course that the U.S. and China were on isn't going to happen too soon. So the question obviously is why? Corruption. Corruption mostly. The reporting suggests that at least 9 Chinese generals or former generals have been removed from circulation. They're no longer in positions of authority. There was a purge. Most of these generals had some connection to the rocket corps, to their military's rocket program. This goes along with some reporting that suggests some of their missiles were filled with water rather than fuel, and that a pretty decent chunk of their missile fields with the silos in western China had lids that didn't open right and would prevent the missiles from firing. If you were looking to achieve deterrence, that's going to be an issue. So this is relatively confined. When you're talking about 9 key players, not really a huge deal. However, the expectation is that because this corruption allegedly occurred inside of their rocket forces with something as sensitive as a silo, it's probably pretty widespread throughout the rest of the military. So that led to the Chinese leader to remove a number of generals, and the new commanders are people who appear to be very loyal to him politically, and they're seen as aggressive commanders. Not in the sense of ready to go to war, but very much you're going to get the job done kind of people. This kind of indicates that they are looking to engage in a little bit of force building and auditing, because China saw the same thing the U.S. did with Russia's invasion of Ukraine and is very aware of how damaging corruption can be. So with all of this in mind, the reporting suggests that U.S. agencies are kind of pushing back the date that they think China might be ready to maybe go after Taiwan or something like that. So overall, this is all good news. I mean, unless you're one of those 9 generals. So hopefully by then the global temperature as far as conflict will have decreased a lot, and it buys us a little bit of time before we end up with a great power war. It is worth remembering that there were a bunch of analysts who weren't part of the U.S. government who were suggesting that the U.S. government's read on it is incorrect, that China really wasn't going down the aggressive path that the U.S. believed they were, that they were going to use soft power and try to expand more economically before they really started ramping up a military presence. So that's where the situation sits right now. There's probably going to be more news coming out about this. If the reporting that has come out is accurate, they're probably right. It's probably widespread in other places, which means we're going to hear more about generals leaving their post. And it's going to create a delay, because not just do they have to kind of revamp and restructure, they have to check everything to make sure that it works. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.